Your great-grandparents stayed warm through blackouts, bombings and fuel shortages without smart thermostats, gas contracts or monthly heating bills that sting like a tax audit. And the secret wasn't high-tech. It was a brutally simple firewood rule that today's energy industry quietly hopes you never think about. Let's get into it. During World War II, fuel was life. Coal supplies were bombed, oil was rationed, transport lines were wrecked. Entire cities had to heat homes, hospitals and barracks with whatever they could source locally. That pressure forced people to rediscover something modern heating has buried under convenience and marketing. Dry wood beats fancy fuel when you actually know what you're doing. Across Europe and parts of North America during World War II, households were taught a strict practice. Cut firewood at least 1 year before you plan to burn it. Stack it off the ground. Cover the top, leave the sides open, let wind and time do their job. That was not a suggestion, it was survival protocol. Freshly cut wood can contain around 40 to 60% water by weight. Try burning that, and most of the fire's energy goes into boiling off water instead of heating your room. You get smoke, creosote build-up, weak heat, and massive fuel waste. After a year of proper seasoning, moisture content drops closer to 15 to 20%. That changes everything. Now the same log burns hotter, cleaner, and longer. More heat enters the room instead of flying up the chimney as steam. In energy terms, properly seasoned hardwood can deliver roughly twice the usable heat compared to wet wood of the same size. Twice. Same tree, different patience. That one rule turned ordinary civilians into highly efficient heat managers. Fast forward to the post-war boom. Oil and gas companies stepped in with a promise. Turn a dial. Instant heat. No chopping, no stacking, no waiting a year. Comfort on demand. And yes, central heating is convenient. But here's the part no one puts in the brochure. You stopped controlling your fuel. With firewood, families in World War II understood supply, storage, moisture, airflow and burn rate. Heat was a hands-on system. You could see your winter stacked in the yard. You knew exactly how long it would last. Modern heating turned warmth into an invisible service measured in bills instead of logs. You don't see your energy. You just pay for it after the fact. And because you don't handle the fuel, you never learn how much energy you're actually wasting through poor insulation, bad habits, or inefficient systems. The old firewood rule forced efficiency. Modern heating sells comfort first, efficiency second. Let's talk numbers, because this isn't nostalgia. It's physics. When wood burns, the goal is to release stored solar energy from the tree's growth. But water inside the wood must first be heated to 100 degrees Celsius and then turned into steam. That phase change eats a huge chunk of energy. If your wood is wet, up to half the potential heat can be lost just drying the log inside your stove. Your chimney runs cooler. Smoke increases. Creosote builds up, raising chimney fire risk. Seasoned wood flips the equation. Higher combustion temperatures. More complete burning of gases. Less smoke. More radiant heat into the room. World War II manuals and civil defense leaflets emphasized proper stacking and drying, because every wasted log meant more cutting, more labor, and more strain on already stressed supply chains. Efficiency wasn't eco-fashion. It was national resilience. There was another quiet rule. Always store more wood than you think you need. Why? Because wood continues drying while in storage. A 2-year-old log burns even better than a 1-year-old log. Households aim to stay at least one full season ahead. That buffer meant drier fuel, easier fires, and higher heat output per log. Compare that mindset to today's just-in-time energy model. Pipelines, tankers, grid demand spikes. One disruption and prices jump overnight. World War II families had their energy independence stacked in rows behind the house. No market fluctuation could touch that pile once it was cut and dried. That's not just heating, that's strategic thinking. Central heating made us passive. You press a button. Heat appears. But that distance from the fuel source hides inefficiencies. People overheat rooms, heat empty spaces, ignore drafts, run systems with poor maintenance. When energy is invisible, waste becomes invisible too. With firewood, waste is obvious. Burn too fast, your pile shrinks. Use wet wood, you freeze. The feedback loop is immediate and, well, pretty brutal. So people learned fast. Close dampers. Use smaller splits for quick heat, bigger logs for overnight burns. Manage airflow. Zone heat by closing doors. Those habits can cut energy use dramatically, even in modern homes. Lower thermostat a few degrees. Heat rooms you use. Seal drafts. Maintain systems. The old mindset still works. Different fuel, same principles. Energy prices rise. Grids get stressed. Extreme weather hits harder. And suddenly the primitive skills from World War II look less like history and more like backup plans. Even if you never touch an axe, the firewood rule teaches a powerful lesson. Energy efficiency starts long before the heat reaches your room. It starts with preparation, storage, and understanding your fuel. Seasoning wood was about time-shifting energy use. You captured sunlight in a tree years earlier, then released it when you needed heat most. That's long-term thinking modern systems rarely encourage. And here's the twist. Many modern wood stove owners still burn wet wood, getting terrible performance, blaming the stove and switching back to expensive fuels. The old rule solves that instantly. 1 year minimum. 2 is better. Simple, low-tech, extremely effective. This isn't about ditching central heating and living like it's 1942. It's about reclaiming the mindset that made people incredibly efficient under pressure. Know your energy. Respect storage. Think ahead. Reduce waste at the source, not just at the thermostat. The firewood rule worked because it forced people to see heat as a physical resource, not an endless service. And once you see it that way, you start making smarter decisions everywhere else. That's the kind of practical wartime wisdom that still hits hard today. If you want more forgotten World War II lessons that still matter in modern life, hit subscribe, share this with someone who loves history with real-world value, and join us at 0 Hour World War II, where the past isn't just remembered, it's put back to work.